Headed out on Heartbreak Highway, hang a left down the lonesome road. I've always been a rambler with no place to call my own. Worn out suitcase in my left hand, guitar slung across my back. If the road's too rough and rocky, I'll just hop a railroad track. Hear the rhythm of a coal train as a big rig passes by. In the distance, thunder rolling, lightning streaks across the sky. I'm running out of daylight and I don't know where I'm bound. Hope I make it to the next town before the rain starts pouring down. Headed out on Heartbreak Highway, hang a left down the lonesome road. I've always been a rambler with no place to call my own. Worn out suit.
Hi everybody, I'm Big Al Weekley for Uncut Grass, and in this episode we're going to talk about bluegrass festivals, not only around the United States but specifically in Oklahoma. And with me to do that is EMG recording artist Eddie Sanders, one of the finest singers, songwriters, and guitar players that you can think of, with his brand new album. We're going to ask him about that. And then we've got his dad, Freddie Sanders, with us, and he is a legendary bluegrass producer. And Freddie, it's great to have you with us too.
Well, I'm glad to be with you. Appreciate it.
Eddie, you're picking up on a legacy that your dad started many years ago. Before we go to that, though, you've got a brand new single out that's called Heartbreak Highway, and it is absolutely a fabulous single, and that's from your latest CD on EMG Records. Kind of tell us a little bit about that before we get started with this new Bluegrass Festival.
Yeah, that song there was written by myself and Glenn Duncan, the great fiddle player and great bluegrass and country musician, one of the best in the business. Glenn Duncan and Adam Englehart. We wrote that song. That was an idea that Glenn came in with one morning. He said, I got this idea driving in over here this morning. I said, well, let's hear it. So we took off with that and had a blast of writing it. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. The album of That Kind of Lonesome is the album, and this is probably our fourth or fifth single off of that album, and we're proud of that song. Glenn had a great idea for a song there.
If somebody wanted to purchase that album, where could they go to get that?
They can find that at eddiesanders.com. If they're wanting a hard copy of it, we can get it mailed out to them. It's on iTunes. If you're just looking to download on any place where you get your music, you can find it. But go to eddiesanders.com or Eddie Sanders Bluegrass on Facebook, and there'll be some places there that'll take you to where you can get one, and we'll send you out a CD.
Well, you've got many albums that are out, many songs you've wrote. You also have gospel music that you have recorded, and they'll be able to find that in all those same places. Let's talk about a brand new bluegrass festival that you are producing. It's going to be September 24th and 25th. That's Eufaula, Oklahoma. Eddie Sanders presents the Eufaula, Oklahoma's Xtreme Bluegrass Music Festival. So as I mentioned, you're carrying on a legacy that your dad and family began. Kind of give us some insight on this brand new festival, Eddie.
This brand new festival is at a location, like you said, in Eufaula, Oklahoma, which is a beautiful lake setting here in Oklahoma. It's actually, at one time, was the largest man-made lake in America, I believe, maybe the world. I think they've built a couple of larger lakes now, but years ago when they built it, I believe it was. It's a nice setting. It's at Xtreme RV Park or Xtreme Resort, thus the name Xtreme Bluegrass Music Festival. So it worked out for us real good. Very nice facility. It's all like pull-through parking, concrete parking with sewer and water hookups. Very nice stage, amphitheater type setting. Lots of space for a big crowd to spread out with the COVID situation we've got going right now. And they've had some other shows there throughout the years at this amphitheater, some successful country shows. This will be the first bluegrass festival that we've had here at this place, and we're looking forward to starting another 25 or 30 year run like we had here in McAlester with the Sanders Family Bluegrass Festival.
So you told me that the camping is already starting to fill up. You've got campers coming in. Are you going to have spaces for other people, and how can they get in contact with you?
They can check us out there at Xtreme Bluegrass Music. It's also got its own Facebook page, but you can go to Xtreme RV there in Eufaula. And they've also got another campsite that's just roughly, just right there. It's all joined together. The same gentleman owns all of this whole marina area. They've got restaurants and cabins. There's still cabins available. They've got several types of lodging. And there's also camping all around the lake that's real close to there. So although there's not a lot of camping available right there at the festival location, it's all real close because there's campsites all around the lake, which we're sitting on the waterfront where the stage is at. So it's a pretty good setting for a festival. But if they're interested, I would call and go ahead and reserve me a camping spot, because there are some really nice camping spots that we have just right there beside the stage.
Well, let me give out the phone number from the flyer that I have here. And that phone number, if you would like to reserve a camping spot, or if you'd like to get tickets, or just talk to somebody about the Xtreme Bluegrass Music Festival. Once again, that's going to be September 24th and 25th in Eufaula, Oklahoma. And the phone number is, and we'll make sure and give this out a couple times. The phone number is area code 918-707-5636. That's 918-707-5636. That will put you in touch with somebody over there and get set up to come to the festival. So who you got coming to the festival? I see the list, but go ahead and tell them if you've got the list there in front of you.
I tell you who we've got, man. It's a great list. We're excited about it. We got to headline it off, Grand Ole Opry star and legendary Mr. Bluegrass himself, Mr. Bobby Osborne and the Rocky Top Express. Can't wait to see Bobby and what he's going to bring out. We had Bobby there actually in Eufaula. My dad put on what we called our winter festival every year in Eufaula, and Bobby and Sonny would come out every year there in Eufaula and be with us. So Bobby's looking forward to a return back to Eufaula. We've got Russell Moore and Third Time Out, Fast Track, Alicia Nugent, Appalachian Roadshow Boys. Of course, I'll be there. Mr. Joe Hott, Spring Street, the Crouch Brothers. That's Mr. Tim Crouch and Dennis Crouch, the great musicians. Heartland Express. And as of today, we've got a brand new ad that I'm proud to tell everybody about that we don't even have out to anybody. You'll get to break the news right here with them. My good friend, Mr. Sean Camp, is going to come do a performance with us there.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that sounds like that is going to be one great lineup. And you know, that is such a beautiful area. I have been down through Lake Eufaula and Eufaula, Oklahoma, down towards Tulsa and those areas. It is a beautiful place, and it's a quiet place. So I just can't see people not wanting to come. And that's September the 24th and the 25th, Eufaula, Oklahoma. Eddie Sanders presents the Eufaula, Oklahoma Xtreme Bluegrass Music Festival, and his daddy, Mr. Fred Sanders, is going to be the MC. I'm sure you've got a little bit of experience there, don't you, Fred?
Just a little bit. About 36 years on it, I think, is what we had. That's how long our festival went.
Well, I'm going to give out this phone number. And if I may, Mr. Sanders, I'd like to talk to you about the legacy that you have left in bluegrass music. The phone number to call about the Xtreme Bluegrass Festival, once again, is 918-707. That is 5636. That's in Eufaula, Oklahoma. We're talking with.
I might add, again, make sure everybody knows, if you don't have a camper or an RV that you do want to bring, they've got some cabins there too that are available. Really nice little cabins. So if you're just looking for a place to stay right there at the site, call and book yourself one of those. It'll be a good place to stay right there at the festival.
I will mention too, I see here that Wilson Pickens Promotions, God bless Melanie Wilson. She worked so hard and she's such a great person. Fixed up a website for the Bluegrass Festival, and it's extremebluegrass.com. I've been on that website and I've checked it out. There's a lot of information there too. That's extremebluegrass.com. And Eddie, that's what we're here for, is to get the information out. So, you know, if there's something that I miss or you miss, we'll just kind of walk right in there and tell everybody. But we're talking with EMG recording artist Eddie Sanders, and he is presenting this new festival in Eufaula, Oklahoma, the Xtreme Bluegrass Music Festival. With him is his legendary dad, Freddie Sanders, who left a legacy in bluegrass music around the United States and Canada. And Freddie, I'd like to talk to you about that. I believe it was called the Sanders Family Bluegrass Festival, and it went on for 31 years. What was the...
That was 36 years.
36 years.
Yeah.
All right. And that started when? Around 1977, I believe?
1977, yes, sir.
So what was the thoughts that prompted the idea to begin a bluegrass festival?
Well, to be truthful with you, greed, you know, I thought I'd get rich. I found out after we had it, there wasn't as much money as you thought, but it's the enjoyment of it and all of the nice folk that we met. We've met thousands of nice people. Never met one that we really didn't like that came to the festival, and got to see a lot of talent, the professional bluegrass talent that we wouldn't have got to see if we hadn't had it. So we really enjoyed it.
Well, I know there was a lot of write-ups about the festival, including Bluegrass Today, but there was a lot of newspaper, magazine write-ups about the festival and how people loved it. Do you have, and now this is a question I'm sure you can't answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. Do you have any idea all of the people and how you impacted bluegrass music by having that festival for 36 years? Do you realize the impact that you've had?
Well, not really. I just, you know, we just thought we were enjoying a lot of good music that we liked, and that we did. People from all over the United States and other countries would come, and a lot of, you know, it was just a lot of people. People come maybe a month or 2 months before the festival and camp here, and we just watch the rest of us work getting ready for the festival, you know. So
I hope you don't think this is a dumb question, because this is something I want to ask you on your own personal thoughts. Every year you had that festival, was it hard, Mr. Sanders? Was it hard? Was you tired when you got done?
we worked all our life, and we would be tired and, you know, grouchy with each other, probably our whole family, but we enjoyed it and we was always ready for it. And we would actually start, you know, the festival would start in June, and we'd start in February or March working on the campground and building more campsites and roads and everything. So we'd work the whole time and stay up a lot during the festival. But yeah, we were tired, but it was a glad tired, you know, happy. We were glad to have it and couldn't wait till next year to see all of our friends and the fans to come back.
I'll throw in there, Al, about, he talked about how many people. We had everybody fill out. I mean, we had such a huge crowd. I think he's talking about those hookups. I think we had 21 or 2,400 campsites, so then they would be filled up. But we had people, it seems like every year we'd have somebody from every state and 7 or 8 foreign countries every year at the festival when we'd go through things that they filled out. So it was not just the US, it was a worldwide thing that people were coming to, that we had going there.
My goodness. And I'm sure there's many highlights to that festival. No doubt, from the father of American bluegrass music to Grand Ole Opry stars, the Osborne brothers. You had the who's who of bluegrass music in that era. And there is one highlight I want to talk about to you, and I welcome a great Bill Monroe story. So Mr. Sanders, with that, I'm going to give you the camera and let you tell the viewers here on Uncut Grass about Bill Monroe and a great story.
Okay, well, he was probably the first band that I hired for the festival. I mean, he came to the festival for several years, and he didn't skip very many years coming for all of them. And he was glad to be here, and we was glad to have him. And he did 1 year on stage where he told us that he had wrote a song while he was coming out here, a fiddle tune, and he called it the McAlester Breakdown. It's, you know, we were at McAlester, so he claimed that he wrote that song and it was a McAlester Breakdown. And that was the year that Billy Joe Foster, the fiddle player that we know, was with him, and he was the one that played fiddle for him that year. And anyway, it was good. But while he was here one time, if we got time, I'll try to shorten it up as much as I can. You know, Bill, he used to be a farmer, and he always was bashful, they said. And he plowed back there in Kentucky, and they always liked mules. Well, 1 year he called me, probably 2 or 3 weeks. He'd call a lot of times at night, sometimes at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He'd call me and have something to say and just want to visit, I guess, you know. But anyway, he called me one night and he said, Freddie, he said, is there any mules out in your country? He said, I'm looking for another team of mules. I'd like to buy some if there's any out there. And he said, see if you can find some and we'll look at them when I come to the festival. So I did, and it just happened that the guy lived up on top of the mountain, just right against the festival. You can see the mountain from the festival. He had a team of mules, a real good team, and he was getting sick and getting up in his years. And I called him and asked him if he'd be interested in selling them. He said he would. And so anyway, me and Bill, at the supper break, Bill came to me and said, let's go look at the mules. And we went up there, and the guy had them tied up in the lot, had one on the one side of the lot and another mule tied on the other side. And as we went in the corral, Bill started walking over to the mule on the left side, and the fella said, he said, Mr. Monroe, I wouldn't go where that mule, he's mean, he might hurt you. And Bill just kept walking, and I hollered at him. I said, hey, Bill. He said, I heard him. And he just kept walking, and he walked straight up to that mule and untied the lead rope on him and dropped it down on the ground and walked around behind him, grabbed him by the tail and pulled him real hard and slapped him on the hip real hard and hollered, whoa. And that mule just stood there, and he said, he turned, looked, he said, there ain't nothing wrong with this mule. And so he liked it, but he understood mules. And that guy said, I don't know. He said, that mule like to kill me getting him tied up there. He said, I don't know how he could handle a mule like that. But that mule he understood that they understood each other. So that's something that I was glad I was able to witness.
That is absolutely a terrific story. Great Bill Monroe, not only good with mandolins, but good with mules too.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
I guess that's the reason he wrote Mule Skinner Blues.
I guess, I guess so. Well, gentlemen, we're running out of time, unfortunately. And Mr. Sanders, I want to thank you for that great story and for talking a little bit about that Sanders Family Bluegrass Festival. And I hope, again, that we can get back together and maybe talk a little bit more about the legacy that you have left in the world in bluegrass. That would be all right with you.
Yeah, we want to tell our many friends that's all over the country that we'd sure be glad to see them again if they feel like coming and have enough nerve during the COVID to be out. And there's room for to have our space out there for them. So we'll be glad to have all of them.
Well, it's great to see your son carrying on your legacy and the great songs and the vocals and the music that he records and being on EMG records. And I'm really sincere when I say that, Eddie. You are just some of the finest I've ever heard on any song that you've sang or wrote.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, Big Al.
And
We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it without people like you helping us promote and get our stuff played on the radio. So we appreciate you and all the stuff you do.
there's a lot of great radio people out there. They sure glad to get your music. And I know that these folks are going to be excited to come to your festival. Once again, September 24th and 25th, Eufaula, Oklahoma. Eddie Sanders presents Eufaula, Oklahoma's Xtreme Bluegrass Music Festival. Your dad's going to MC. You've got Russell Moore and Third Time Out, Fast Track, Grand Ole Opry star Bobby Osborne and Rocky Top Express, Lisha Nugent, Appalachian Road Show, and of course, Eddie Sanders. You're going to host that show just like your dad did with his band?
Probably so, yeah. We might even have a little, the Bonham brothers, we might even have Sean Camp that I mentioned that's going to be there. Sean, back years ago, before he left us, we had a band called Signal Mountain. That was my dad and all of us that we played in. That was with the Bonham brothers who were going to be there. Sean Camp was in the band. Dennis Crouch was in the band. So we're probably going to have us a little Signal Mountain reunion get together too. Nobody knows that yet but me and Sean, but I'm sure Virgil and Glenn and Dennis, so everybody will be happy to throw in, and we'll be reliving some stuff back from the 80s.
Man, I would love to be able to come to that festival. I really would. Of course, I've got a previous engagement, but I definitely will come to the next one. But I want to mention the website that was built by Wilson Pickens Promotions for you, Eddie, and that is extremebluegrass.com. And there's all kinds of information on there. We're going to give out the phone number, folks, once again, but you can make reservations and get this phone call in, and you can either get a campsite or a cabin somewhere along the lake. Am I correct,
Yes.
right?
Okay. Yeah, right there close.
Here is the phone number, everyone. It is 918-707-563. Eddie, is there anything that we've missed that you'd like to add? We've got about 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, I'll add that phone number again because you didn't come through what I heard. It's 918-707-5636.
Very good.
So,
All
yeah,
right.
we appreciate your time, Al, and we would like to see everyone coming out. Just want to make sure everybody knows we are having the festival. We're going forward with it. I know there's a lot of places having to cancel, but we feel like here in Oklahoma and the way this facility is, that it's big enough for us to spread out and have a good, safe time for everybody.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a great festival. Once again, September 24th and 25th, Eufaula, Oklahoma. That's the Xtreme Bluegrass Music Festival. With us today on Uncut Grass is the producer of the festival, Eddie Sanders, EMG recording artist, and his legendary dad, festival producer, Freddie Sanders. Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure, and we'll look forward to doing this again.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Al. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. And for Uncut Grass, I'm Big Al.
Worn out suitcase in my left hand, guitar slung across my back. If the road's too rough and rocky, I'll just hop a railroad track. 6 strings full of heartache took me around the world. That suitcase full of memories of a little mountain girl.